Ever since I started investigating Sean Combs, all I've thought about was candy, candy, candy. You know what? I can barely open this Tootsie Roll midgie. Suddenly I've lost my appetite, Sean Combs, and I think it's because of you.
I got your wig, ho. You're mad. Miss Wig. I got your wig, ho. I got your wig, ho. Miss Wigiana.
We are hearing from new witnesses as the sex trafficking and racketeering trial against Sean Diddy Combs continues today. Yesterday, Dawn Richard, a former member of the pop group Danity Kane, took the stand. And she testified that she witnessed Combs beating his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, on multiple occasions. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. What else did we learn from Dawn Richard? And I'm wondering what really stood out to you during her testimony, the type of thing we don't see in the transcripts.
Yeah. Good morning, Errol. What really stood out was her stories of the abuse that she witnessed. There was one in particular she told about a time when Cassie Ventura was making eggs for Sean Combs at his house. Dawn Richard was there along with Kalina Harper. They were in a trio with Sean Combs called Danity Kane, it was Diddy Dirty Money.
As far as for you, Dawn, I still want to make music with you. I still want you to be signed to the label. If I decide to put that together, Danity Kane, then, you'll be the only member that'll still be there.
What up, world? It's your boy Diddy here, and as you can see, most definitely, I'm here with a special announcement. Matter of fact, a special introduction. I know, the word's been bubbling about dirty money, and I want to kind of set the record straight. Dirty money is not about no drug money or illegal money or anything like that. Anything negative. Dirty money is a look, a sound, a feel, a movement, a crew. For my new album, Last Train to Paris, I wanted to do something refreshing, something unique, something forward for myself, and myself as an artist. And I play best on a team, I'm a team player, so I wanted to tell a story, this love story about, finding love, losing love, and then trying to find love again. And I couldn't just tell the male's point of view. I needed to tell the female's point of view. I grew up listening to groups like Soul to Soul and Loose Ends, and it was always like, two guys and a girl. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let me flip it. Let me get two talented bad chicks, bad divas to the left and to the right of me. This is Dawn, as you know.
Hey,
Boom. It's Kalina, and this is a special project, They both got their solo things going on, but we got together on this Last Train to Paris to do something special. So the name of the crew is Dirty Money, all right? So it's not the Dirty Money Girls. Y'all ain't gonna leave me out. I'm a part of Dirty Money, okay? This is Dirty Money. You're looking at it right here. Sean. Dawn, and Kalina, you know what I'm saying? And I chose the name Dirty Money because Dirty Money is just so raw, it's so real, and that's really the sound that we kind of giving off on this album.
She was in multiple groups with Sean Combs, and she saw Sean Combs come down, attempt to hit Cassie with a frying pan, and then saw him drag her upstairs, and she heard the sounds of beating. But one thing that was significant about Richard's testimony is this was the first time we saw a really aggressive cross-examination from Combs' team. They were poking holes in her story, Errol, showing different times that she told it. There were interviews with the government and how the narrative changed a bit each time. But one thing that stood out to me is she said that she tells the story as she remembers it, and that the more she thinks about that time, the more she has remembered. That it was a really difficult moment in time for her, a terrible work environment, and memories that she repressed. And it reminded me of something that Cassie Ventura said in a statement that her lawyer read after her testimony about how the more she remembers, the more she heals. And she said the more she remembers, she can also never forget. And so I think there is also something with survivors where they repress these memories, and we're hearing that from these witnesses on the stand.
Dawn was officially back on the stand this morning, and you know what's crazy? During cross-examination, Diddy's attorney name-dropped celebs, and nobody else reported about it except for one outlet. Like I told you guys, I am looking at Inner City Press's live tweets, but as I said, he doesn't report everything. So I look at everybody that's reporting, from CNN to CBS to AP News to New York Post to New York Times, Washington Post, all of them. For some reason, the New York Post was the only one that mentioned that they came up. But before I get into cross-examination, let's finish with her testimony. Before she came back on the stand, Diddy's attorneys tried to fight the fact that they wanted Dawn's testimony from Friday off the record, and they did not want her testifying. The judge said he'd make a decision on Monday, and as you can see, he decided that she can testify.
And earlier, Danity Kane singer Dawn Richard returned to the witness stand and testified that she saw Combs physically abuse Ventura, who wrapped up her 4 days of grueling testimony last week.
Said the abuse was so normalized that Diddy's security didn't step in. And that's when she said that included Harv Pierre, D-Rock, and Capricorn Clark.
All right, here we go. Today we have Roger Bonds again, Diddy's security from 2003 through 2012. So there was a situation on a yacht.
Right.
You were there, but you were around.
Right. Definitely.
So what was that situation over?
I can't tell you what this situation was over. I took them to where the yacht came and picked them up at. And Pup said, I don't need no security because it was just personal friends getting on the yacht. And then I picked them up when the yacht came back. And I seen Kim Knowles taped up. And it was whispers all around the office of everything that happened because his assistants were there and they was talking about it. He tried to say that she hit a table, but everybody in the office and everybody that was immediate around him knew exactly what happened.
Well, some of the stuff I've been saying is coming true, but all of the stuff that I say is true, and that's facts. You know what I'm saying? Just with this Cassie thing, I didn't know her, but I knew somebody like her, and that was Kim Porter. I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter.
No, they don't want me to testify. I'm not testifying today. If I testify, he's going to be buried just on the shit he said about Dawn them. He actually, and I heard him, and I was law enforcement at the time. He said, I'm going to drug them and pimp them out. We had a whole conversation about that shit. But no, I'm not testifying, y'all. I don't think he's going to walk because you got to understand the racketeering and the prostitution and those charges right there. Paying prostitution is against the law, and the federal government, that's easy. You know, they got the receipts from that shit. So, no, he's not going to walk.
And Dawn alleges that Diddy and Harv Pierre told her and others not to talk about what they saw. She also testified that Harv Pierre told her that Diddy would say it gets dark and lonely if you don't listen.
Don't get it twisted, man. It gets dark and lonely. It does, trust me.
They also grilled her about substances. Dawn had said that Diddy used the thing you do on 420, Molly, K, Snow. That she testified a dealer named One Stop had it all, including Plan B and birth control.
We were in the Hamptons. We were in the studio in New York City, and I was with Dirty Money. At this time, I was around Dirty Money for about a year while they were creating Last Train to Paris. And I guess I was around because I was dating Dawn. I just happened to be around. So Diddy's like, I think he was very, very high. He's like, we're going to go to the Hamptons. He was like, we're going to go stay the night there and you guys want to come. And it felt very weird because He's never, this energy just felt so weird. You know what I mean? It was friendly high. You know what I'm saying? Like a friendly invitation to something.
He wasn't usually like that?
No, he's never invited all of us to one of his houses. Oh. So before we get to the Hamptons, they're like speeding in these black SUVs on the expressway very, very fast. Like they were in a rush to get to the Hamptons. We get to the Hamptons and we walk through the house and we arrive in the backyard near the pool. And my ex at the time, which was Dawn, she gave me an ecstasy pill. And she says...
Is that what she said it was?
Yeah, she said it was ecstasy, and she said it was from Puff to give to me. And it was red. And I took it because I thought I was going to get freaky with my girlfriend, you know? We tried ecstasy before, and I trusted her that that's what it was. So I took it immediately, and she had one too. He gave her 2 of them. I took mine. Within like 20 minutes, I knocked out and blacked out. Yeah. I woke up in the twins' bedroom in the basement, and I woke up out of my sleep screaming very, very loud.
Who are the twins?
I don't know their names.
Are you talking about Diddy's daughters?
Diddy's twins. Yeah.
Okay.
Diddy's twins. His girls. Yeah. I woke up in their bed to cameras filming me, and they were laughing as I woke up out of my sleep, screaming. And it felt like... I'm not going to cry.
Okay.
Yeah, take your time. It's okay. It's understandable that you're reliving this and emotion comes with it. There's just no way around it. So
it felt very sacrificial. That's what I meant when I said I felt like they were trying to hurt me or Diddy was trying to maybe sacrifice me that night. I didn't say when I went on Vlad TV, I didn't say anything about finding a sacrificial email.
Hold on. What he's discussing in regards to Vlad TV is that's one of the interviews that the boys did. He had to leave gaps within that interview, and they decided to fill those gaps. It's kind of what I've experienced this past week. As you guys know, we started this out, and it was, we all have this intention to talk our way through to the end of this trial and hopefully see justice for whatever is proven and whatever the jury decides. Even you had situations that were just made up out of nowhere. So did I last week. Q was discussing one in which he couldn't say certain things because he's honoring a contract. And within that, people decided to fill in the blanks. So he discussed an email. He had tears. People put it together that he's crying over an email and what it basically tried to suggest that he's not a man and he's boo-hooing over an email and so on and so forth.
Boozy said something crazy. I don't mean to stop you. Boozy said...
You have to explain who everybody is.
So Little Boozy is a rapper, and respectfully, I want to say to him, like that's not... You shouldn't have said that I wanted to get effed by Diddy or that's possibly the reason why I'm crying. You know what I mean? That's messed up. You don't know me at all, Mr. Boozy. And you didn't hear the story that I just told. And if you would have heard that, maybe you would have had a different reaction. And to Chopper and to Stevie J, who also responded respectfully. So basically,
these are all people. They are all colleagues of Q's in the industry.
Yeah, I just want to say respectfully to them, just don't believe everything before you actually hear the truth, because people will edit things, and I don't have nothing bad to say about them at all. I just want them to just understand that. Be respectful to everyone's trauma. You don't know when a person's still healing and going through the process of healing.
Yes.
And you can add, you don't know if I'm still thinking I want to hurt myself or I'm scared and thinking someone's going to, all those mental thoughts. You don't know what I'm going through for you to say those mean things to just add on to my mental health.
Q, I know there's some details about the incident you described. Maybe you don't want to get into. And
no, let's get into it.
Okay, we can. Can I go with how, I know you can be open about how it made you feel, right? So you're saying after this particular incident, you left there feeling, you called it sacrificial, but you felt as if they
were going to hurt me in my sleep because I woke up screaming. I woke up out of my sleep screaming. So what I mean by it felt like sacrificial, it felt like someone was trying to hurt me or take me out because I possibly couldn't have woke up out of my sleep that night.
Do you know what happened to you?
I woke up screaming like a girl to the top of my lungs on a high pitch.
Well, did you have clothes on?
I think I was in my shorts because I remember jumping into a swimming pool.
But do you believe that some of what happened to you was recorded on one or many of these iPhones?
Oh, yeah. I saw phones and lights. It wasn't a video camera. It was a phone camera light.
So there are people who do know what happened to you, and there's a reason you believe why they're not telling you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I gotta pack my shit and leave. No, you not. You ain't going no leave. You are dedicated to day 2600. Q, my kids depend on you. And I know that. Why don't y'all see that I know that? I don't care if you depend on you, man. Son. Are you finna throw this away? Listen, son, can I please talk to my second? It's a real. I'm not going anywhere. I know they listen, listen, son. Day 26 is my first priority. Just because I want to get better at dancing, just because I'm using my time wisely, and you sit here and sleep, does not mean you guys can manipulate me like that and do that phony ass. That hurt. How could you look at me and say that? I did. How could you look at me and say Q was wrong? No. How could you look at me and say that? Q, I always ask you every day, what's wrong? Q has to calm down. What is going on? I don't know what's wrong with it. It's something deep. It is. Trust me, it's deep. It's deep. It's real deep. This whole thing just took a wrong turn for the worse, because we spend more time with each other than we spend with our own families. So nobody really knows what's going on anymore with each other or with you. And we asking, what is it? Because I care about you. I want you to tell, I really want to get to the bottom because I don't, in my mind, I see bad things happening. And I don't want that to happen to you.
I've heard from inside the courtroom that Dawn was very inconsistent and not credible, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's talk about Dawn. First, let's establish for our listeners what your relationship was and is with Dawn Richard. We know she was a former bandmate of yours, but who was Dawn to you?
As in her character?
Just your relationship, the two of you.
Dawn was my bandmate, and she's an incredibly talented woman.
Were you friends?
I thought we were. Yeah. You have to remember, I was the only child, and I was the youngest one in the group when everyone wasn't lying about their ages. So with that being said, I thought everybody in the group were my real sisters. I thought we were going to have each other's back till the end of time. That's not what has occurred. I am close with every girl in my group except for Dawn.
Okay, you had good times, is it fair to say? You all were close at one point and had good times that you thought were genuinely good times at the time?
There were moments that I had with Dawn that I felt were genuine. I learned otherwise that they weren't.
Okay, so why, if all your bandmates you're cool with, what happened that broke down the relationship with Dawn?
Oh, God, a multitude of things. Consistent patterns of inconsistency, consistent patterns of truly just not understanding who was standing in front of me. My other bandmate and I went on tour with her long after Dirty Money, which is how I knew a lot about what occurred during Dirty Money, because she would openly discuss things that she saw happening to Cassie.
Wow.
Never told us anything happened to her.
Talk to Diddy? Not as often as I'd like, but that's the homie forever. Yeah. Wouldn't know that Puff had bought me out of a contract prior to even getting on the show. Like, it wasn't I chose Puff over my group at the time. It was more of, when someone does that, where I come from, you got to respect that on a large level. So I gave loyalty to him. All his crazy, I look at things like that as loyalty. So I was loyal to him, and I paid my dues back like a businesswoman should. Right. Until he said, okay, your dues are paid, and then I left.
And then, and we were given a lot of detail. But my bandmate and I would always kind of come back to each other when she'd walk away and be like, there were just so many inconsistencies. We just don't even know what happened in front of us.
So what you saw, or
it was
what
obvious
we-
to more people than just me.
Okay, what we read or what we heard from what her testimony was yesterday, and a lot of people were saying inconsistent, reads that's exactly the Dawn Richard that you knew.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
The outfit going into court that I first saw at the start of the morning was a bit of a tell for me. What I know, being the daughter of a lawyer, is there are so many hands that are put on you in regards to just visuals in a courtroom. We discussed having your children in there. We discussed gray hair, a pregnant belly. All these things are affecting the jury. So is a three-piece suit with diamonds on a collar. It's certainly a choice. And then when you got into her testimony, it seems like she was inconsistent and not credible as what's being reported.
So when we heard Dawn testify and the access she says she had to Diddy and to Cassie and what she saw and what she witnessed, that was different than the access that you and your other bandmates had? Did she have a different relationship with Diddy and with Cassie than you all did?
She did not suggest that she ever did when asked, long after Dirty Money.
But you all at the time had no idea she was sexually involved whatsoever with Diddy.
Absolutely not. I saw many things that were showing me that a complete opposite narrative. So when I saw it, I was shocked. And then when I started to speak to my other colleagues from making the band, I began to learn who my bandmate was.
Would she be qualified? She has a lawsuit. I think she's alleging sexual battery, I think is what she's saying, against Diddy.
Assault, but the assault that she alleges in her lawsuit is that during a fitting, he touched her inappropriately in areas. And all the other things that she alleges in her lawsuit are things that happened on making the band. We had to stay up for days at a time. We weren't eating. We were losing weight. I mean, all of those things were kind of like televised to the world.
First of all, Shannon, let's talk about the choice of hair color change, and is this something you feel you want to stay with?
I really like it. I mean, I love being blonde too, but I like it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it makes you look hard. It puts age on you, unnecessary age. You're a very beautiful girl. You, Andrea, you look pleasantly plump here. Even in person, you don't really look like this. I don't know if it's the way the picture was taken.
Because the dress, the kind of...
But also your hair, overly glamorous. Like where it's just a lot of hair. It's a lot of fake hair, a lot of fake eyelashes, a lot of makeup. And we'll get to you in a second with that, Aubrey. But,
I'm curious why you decided to speak up now. I would say that this moment now is a time where I feel like my experience, my truth will really be heard and actually considered and believed.
While the world watched her climb the charts with hits like Showstopper and Damaged, Dee Wood says she was living in fear under the glare of reality TV cameras on Making the Band.
It was not a good experience.
Gotta see what Nita does. Hand down to the boot. Did Debbie do Dallas?
Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little sick?
It's no secret, I'm built differently than these other girls. And if he didn't see that before, he really sees it now because it's 1 against 4. I'm a thick girl on the bottom. I'm working out, I'm running. I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks.
You're like a burger away.
Picking and prodding and just a way to chip and knock away, but then praise you. How are you dealing with that? I just had to bite my tongue and let somebody disrespect me in ways that I never imagined, like totally disgusting, totally just grotesque, like about the different parts of my body. Sometimes you you're so angry that it brings you to tears. And then also not being able to stand up for myself. Because I knew standing up for myself right now is probably going to bring on more severe, treatment.
You want to show all your skin. You want to be naked. But the whole concept of Danity Kane was like, when it comes together, it's one.
Puff's going hard on the group, and then all of a sudden he singles me out and starts going on and on about how unhappy he is with me. And I just feel like nothing that I do, he's ever happy with.
Can I ask a question? What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
Puff, I'm done with all of that.
No. Like, what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair.
Puff,
you like a lot of makeup and all that.
I don't work these amount of years to have you talk to me this way.
I'm not meaning
So
to
I don't want you in the group
disrespect
no more. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
All right, because I don't want to even have to have this conversation. And anybody else that want to go with her could go with her. And you seem like at the end of the day, you're not really happy in the situation. Based on a lot of things that I've heard, you're not really a happy camper in this situation.
No, I don't think anyone has been happy for a long time in this situation.
Okay, so you could go too.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
I respect your decision.
The thing, Puff built Aubrey up. He built her up on television. You made her a star. Like, she came back, her titties was done, she came back and then was like, I'm that girl. It wasn't what he wanted the direction of the group to be. He felt herself an equal on the streets. He was hanging with Kim Kardashian. She every right. And he like, oh no, but let me let you feel this real fast.
I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
And his pride, and he said, fired, boom, like that.
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions.
Wow. When you look back on that, how does that make you feel?
I have such a love-hate with it all because I don't think I would have been able to be so successful in so many other areas had I not been trained under Diddy. He was the hardest person that you can work for.
What you thinking about?
I don't know who you are. In there, come on. I need you to put yourself in that nightclub. Be right there. You're in a crowded club, and it's this one cat. You know what I'm saying?
Is there any way that I could turn this so I could look? Because that helps me. I'm to get the performance.
Oh, man, if you don't sing that damn song, ain't nobody turning. Sing the song, girl.
And it was torture, and not the work part of it, but the other stuff. Mind games, like just all the girls were so divided, and the men and the people running it had their hands in it, moving everything. There was a lot of betrayal. There was a lot of lies. There was a lot of, when you're young and impressionable, and we understand our beauty as women through the eyes of the people observing us. Well, who's observing us? Men.
We're gonna go with Shannon and Cowie. Okay.
They can stay up all night.
Okay. Cut the music. What in the hell is going on? White girls can dance now and got asses? What in the hell is going on?
You heard
White
that?
girls
Black
can
girls,
dance now and got asses.
So we learn our beauty through a man's eye, which is very subjective. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm going to drug their ass off and pick them up and pimp them out to my nigga. He said, I'm going to drug them out. I'm going to get them all on drugs, and I'm going to pimp their ass out to my nigga. And I was like, there's somebody kids. and walked out. And it's somebody that heard me. It's somebody that heard me. I mean, well, it's not only somebody that heard me, it's somebody that I know who was in the studio at the time that happened, and I still talk to him today. And we were just talking about that the other day.
Cassie Ventura's former best friend, Carrie Morgan, taking the stand against Sean Diddy Combs, telling jurors, quote, her boyfriend assaulted me, referring to a 2018 incident when she says Combs choked her and hit her with a wooden hanger, leaving her with a concussion. Prosecutors also asking Morgan about the aftermath of this incident central to the case. Video taken in 2016 at the Los Angeles Intercontinental Hotel when Ventura says Combs became violent with her for leaving a so-called freak-off or drug-fueled sex marathon with Combs. Morgan telling the jury she saw Ventura shortly after with a black eye and that Combs arrived at Ventura's house about 30 minutes later, yelling and hitting the door with a hammer to try and open it. Sometimes I would tell her she should leave him, Morgan testified. Ventura answered that she couldn't because of her job, her car, her apartment. He controlled everything, Morgan recalled Ventura telling her.
What you got to say now? What you got to say now? You ain't got shit to say. When you put your girl on the snap, baby, yo, babe. I mean, shit getting weird. Come on, baby. It's hot outside. You fucking wrapped up in that blanket. Let's go jog on the beach. Now, is there anything more beautiful than the sunrise in the morning of a beautiful
Activist Tiffany Red had been working with Cassie on an album when she first met Diddy and says that she witnessed him verbally abusing her friend. Following Cassie's settlement with Diddy, Red penned an open letter in Rolling Stone about her experience. She spoke to me about the events that she says traumatized her.
I don't think people understand what it's like to be traumatized by somebody famous and rich, because you can't get away from them.
Tiffany Red has written for the likes of Zendaya, Jason Derulo, and Jennifer Hudson. In 2015, she became friends with Cassie while writing songs for her album. At that point, Cassie and Diddy had been together for nearly 8 years. In a lawsuit Cassie filed last month, she detailed the abuse she says Diddy committed, including physical assault. Red says although she did not know about the alleged physical assault while working with Cassie, she did witness verbal abuse on more than one occasion, one of which took place during Cassie's 29th birthday in 2015. Red says Diddy showed up at karaoke where Cassie and a group of friends were celebrating.
So he had her back into the corner, and he was like cussing her out with his hand in her face.
Later that night, Red, who was staying at Cassie's home, says she awoke to screaming.
He's standing in the living room area, and she's there, and he was like, emotional singing, bitch. There you are. And I just was like, oh, he's talking to me. And I remember, I don't know if you know what his voice sounds like, but I felt like I was in the presence of his monster inside. And I remember looking in his eyes, and I said to him, what did y'all do? Because I could see that she was really sedated. That was the first time I ever seen her high before. And then he says, tell your girl she wants some birthday. And we were like, well, I mean, he's saying this to me, and I'm like, well, she doesn't have to have sex with you if she doesn't want to. He was upset, I guess that she didn't want to do with him whatever he wanted. I don't know. I don't feel like I could advocate for myself in that moment. I realized oh, this guy is dangerous.
A large component of these freak-offs were drugs, and she testified, for me it was disassociative and numbing. I couldn't imagine doing any of that without any sort of buffer. A buffer while she said she was heavily objectified by men. She told the court she met Diddy when she was 19 years old. He promised her a record deal and a career. Soon after meeting him, he kissed her, and then they had sex. He eventually introduced her to those freak-offs, which he recorded, and she said he used as a form of blackmail.
Hi. Hey, it's JoJo on the radio. What up, y'all? We're back in the studio. It's JoJo on the radio. Cassie in the studio. Cassie?
Yes.
Of course, you've been just railed with what's up with the pigs. What happened? I want you to. I'm asking everything with love and respect. You know me. I hope you can see the sincerity in my face.
I can see it in your eyes.
So I'm not going to go with what were the pictures about. They are what they are.
Mm-hmm.
What clearly, I guess the thing I want to know is who. I was told they were leaked. True or false?
True.
Not by you, right?
Not by me. Definitely not by me.
Do you know who did it, or do you have an idea?
We're closer to an idea of who did it. Yeah, it's being somewhat investigated. I don't even know if I'm really supposed to talk about it like that.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're close to finding out who it was.
Now, leaked from a laptop or a cell phone, or how did that go?
I wasn't sure what the situation was until I guess we asked more questions and kind of found out more things, but it was an old email from last year that I had. Actually a Gmail. Gmails sometimes are really the worst.
Wow.
That's how I lost a lot of music too. I got music leaked as well at the same time.
So when people say songs got leaked, or in your case photos and music, Gmail could be somewhat the guilty party and kind of aiding that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Maybe.
think it's a very open, I don't know if have you ever heard of Gmail's acting
Yeah,
up like that? I don't know.
I have a Gmail account.
A lot of people in the music industry do, and it was like a year ago that I took the pictures and sent them. I don't even have the pictures anymore, so that was the crazy part about it.
So when it popped up online, how did you find out, and what was your reaction?
I got a phone call. It was I was actually out here, and I got a phone call at 11 o'clock at night, and my stomach fell.
You're like,
all the way down to my bottom. No, I freaked out for a second, and then, what can you do when that happens? And, the truth about it is that a lot of people take pictures like that for their, their significant other. That's what it was for me. I had sent them to someone. So now I've learned not to use an email to send a picture, obviously.
So I guess everybody can learn from the situation.
Everybody can learn from the situation.
Yeah.
Don't send pictures through email.
Yeah. Take a pic and hold it up and then delete it. That's about all you need to know. So if once you confirm who did this,
what actions can you take on this person? Or is there anything you can do?
There definitely is. I haven't decided yet about how I feel, and I mean, it's gone, it's past, and it came out. I don't know. There's nothing you can really do about it now, but we'll see.
All right. Well,
I might go and torture somebody.
Freaking attach electrodes to parts of bodies, shoot the juice, enjoy. All right, you guys. Coming up next, let's talk about some music. So we'll be right back with some Cassie music. Y'all don't move. It's 102.7 Kiss FM.
An audio recording was also played in court of her confronting someone named Sujit, who said they had video on their phone of Cassie pleasuring herself and having sex with someone who wasn't Diddy.
Well, hi there, Julia and Ted. So everyone's just making their way back inside the New York City courthouse after a very short lunch break. So people are just making their way in. As soon as court resumes, the direct examination of Carrie Morgan will continue. Carrie Morgan, the former friend of Cassie Ventura, who said that once Sean Diddy Combs assaulted her, their friendship stopped. So what did she say about that particular assault? She said that she was at her house, that Combs had come over demanding that she tell him who Cassie was cheating on him with. He became angry, grabbed her around the neck, and then ended up hitting her with a wooden hanger. Shortly after that, this was about a month after that, her and Cassie met up at a pizzeria. And Cassie, according to her testimony, told her that you're overblowing this, because she now had hired an attorney. Carrie Morgan had hired an attorney. Cassie said, you're exaggerating this. She then had her friend sign a non-disclosure agreement and said Sean Combs will be giving you $30,000. So that's some of the testimony that was taking place before the lunch break took place. Now we're making our way back in. We do have some other testimony we can put up for you on the screen. So we're bringing it to you in full screen form because, of course, no cameras are in the courtroom. But she did testify that she had encouraged Ventura to call police. This was after that 2016 hotel altercation at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. After the assault, Combs arrived at Ventura's apartment yelling and banging on the door with a hammer. She said, I don't think she cared that he could come in there and kill her. So it's been some really tough testimony to listen to as Carrie has been on the stand recounting these events. She also testified that Combs assaulted her in 2018. So this is the incident I'm talking about with the hanger. He came up behind me, she said. He choked me, then boomeranged a wooden hanger at my head, had finger marks on my neck. And then, as I mentioned, she received a $30,000 check, some money from Combs, and then signed that non-disclosure agreement.
There was a lot of things today in court. I could not believe what I was hearing. I was incredibly uncomfortable. And yeah, in the government's opening statement, Emily Johnson actually said that Cassie did choke on the urine of an escort when Diddy forced this escort to allegedly urinate in her mouth.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, why I picked this one. Oh, Lord. What is it? No. I can't say it. You got to. It says take a shower. If you like golden showers, I do. Golden showers? Meaning when the guy pees on you? Mm-hmm. Pee on you everywhere? You like it? I just like it. You do? Mm-hmm. Freak of the week. So you say take a shot. You say take a shot? Oh, yeah, I take a shot. You like golden shower? I do. But like peeing on you? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just too I'm going to be honest. Hold on, one more thing. I need something a little, let's say. So I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a golden shower. I did. Did you? I've never had a golden shower. Like, I've given one. Oh, is that the same thing as squirting? Or yeah, they say that. I don't know. But I don't had to go to shower and I like it. I give them.
Lauren, tell me a little more about this male escort. The vibe that you got from him. What does he actually look like? Because all we've seen, again, are the very cartoonish, courtroom sketches. Did you find his testimony believable? Obviously, some of the stuff he said, I mean, the fact that Diddy's in the corner masturbating, he's having sex with Cassie. What did you make of it?
Yes, I found his testimony to be incredibly believable. He seemed genuinely affected by what he saw happen to Cassie. This man truly seemed to care about Cassie. He did have, whatever you want to call it, some kind of relationship with her for probably about a year and a half. And he actually testified that he, at a certain point, wasn't able to perform for Diddy and Cassie. He got erectile dysfunction because of what he saw. He said he saw Diddy at one point after an encounter drag Cassie by the hair from her computer seat all the way back to her bedroom while she was kicking and screaming and crying. And after she apologized and came out, he said that Diddy said, okay, you guys want to continue? And he couldn't perform. And that was it. From there, he could not perform after that. And he saw Diddy abuse Cassie 2 or 3 more times after that as well. And this is a muscular guy. He was 41 years old, a bit smaller, but again, he seemed incredibly affected by what he saw.
And was there, just quickly, Lauren, was there a point where he talked about, because I was trying to follow the blogs, again, it's hard, you were in there, it's difficult for us on the outside. Did he talk about Cassie at one point being under the influence of drugs to the point that she was slumped over, and Diddy still wanted him to have sex with her?
He did talk about that. He said that he showed up one night and Cassie appeared to be high on something and she was slumped over on the couch. But he said that Diddy said, I don't think it's going to happen tonight.
Were you surprised to see, obviously 2 of your old co-stars from Gigolos being kind of wrapped up in all this Diddy trial? No. I knew about Diddy a long time before the news did. And usually it was because I was on hold to go on to the job, and they wouldn't tell me, the agency wouldn't tell me who it was. But because of just talking to other escorts that worked at the company, I knew. Because it's hearsay, all I can really say is that some of the guys saw stuff and saw chemicals, and other guys did not. So, and some of them saw them for very long periods of time and said that they never saw any of the shenanigans, the violence, or crazy imbibing of chemicals that that is in the news right now. That's in the case. But yeah, there was definitely some reports of seeing some of that. From what I had heard talking to 2 other guys, it was that it was always a situation that was a little crazy, but that the chemical stuff was not always a part of it, and that neither of those men saw violence. I think for Diddy, it's just speculation here, that it was a power thing for him because he already had money and he already had sex, and he already had power. But to what degree he could expand that power really, I think, came down to being able to control other human beings. And yes, you can control a lot of people if they're your employees. So, is it normal? Is cuckolding normal? Is letting the men watch normal? That's all normal, right? But to the degree at which he allegedly was plying Cassie with chemicals and other stuff, I mean, that's not unheard of, but it's also not normal.
You know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. I had settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's these attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued them for the herpes and won. But they Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy. Mark Garagos used to be Michael Jackson's attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had he drugged Michael and they OD'd him, okay? He didn't overdose. They OD'd him because they keep the royalties of the music. Michael alone made $860 million alone last year. What happened is Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter, okay? Right. Basically, he's Arab, Palestinian, okay? The Ciroc agenda, okay, is basically binge drinking poured out on a youth. They promote binge drinking and drugs.
Gotcha.
The hip-hop agenda was laid out by Obama during his last presidencies purposely. That's why they had Tupac killed, because when they kill them, you gain fame. When your record sales go up, and then people listen to your lyrics and everything, and then you become famous, okay? That's how they do it, all right? Tupac's still alive.
Yeah.
He's in Cuba. Basically, what happens is the following. The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to involve DEA. They move all the dope, okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by the inside the United States, okay. They move what's called high grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in the bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time.
Honey, are you nervous to testify today? What are you expecting today? You look great.
You look great.
I love the fit, not too serious.
Pull out for Cudi. Come take that.
Rapper Kid Cudi is on the stand right now detailing a threat that Diddy once made to him. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt is live in Lower Manhattan, and she picks it up from there. Linda, what's the latest?
Yeah, hi there, Bianca. Well, first of all, I can tell you this. Every day, the testimony in this trial has been jaw-dropping. Today will be no different. Rapper, as you're talking about, rapper Kid Cudi on the stand, and he is testifying today. Go ahead, take a look at this video, because this is Cudi arriving here at federal court in Lower Manhattan earlier today. Now, he is wearing the black leather coat and smoking a cigarette. He is testifying about his brief relationship with Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie, back in 2011, after she and Combs had broken up. Now, Cassie has already testified that Combs flew into a jealous rage about her relationship with Kid Cudi, and he threatened to blow up his car. Now, Cudi has already testified today that he met with Combs after his Porsche exploded. And the remains of a Molotov cocktail were found nearby.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support, and I just want to say thank you so much, man. People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, And yeah, I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland.
Combs is charged with running a criminal enterprise dealing with drugs and sex trafficking. He has pleaded not guilty on all counts. Now, yesterday, Combs' former executive assistant, George Kaplan, also testified. He continued this morning, and he left court earlier today. After wrapping up his testimony, he had testified that he would buy drugs for Combs and that he would clean up hotel rooms after Combs would hold drug-fueled sex marathons called freak-offs. And a federal agent also testified yesterday that when they raided Combs' home in Miami last year, they found gun parts to make AR-15 style weapons, cocaine, ketamine, and more than 50 bottles of baby oil and lubricant.
We're on about our 10th witness, and testifying right now is Gerard Gannon. He's a special agent with Homeland Security, and he talked about the items that were found inside the master bedroom closet of Sean Combs' home on Star Island in Miami, Florida. Here's some of what he showed the jurors. Pictures of red heels. He said that he found many red heels, or many heels, platform shoes in Combs' closet, 18 in total. The jurors were shown pictures of 6 pair. They were also shown pictures of Balenciaga boots that they said they were able to get 3 cell phones out of one of those boots. And then they showed jurors a black Gucci bag. They actually had it in the courtroom today. They opened up the plastic, showed it to the jurors, and they said inside that bag was an assortment of narcotics, 2 bottles of eye drops that actually tested positive for MDMA and ketamine. But also those narcotics, those assortment of narcotics, they said were blue, pink, white, yellow, orange, black pills, white powder, a black plastic straw. All of these things, they said, tested positive for either cocaine, ketamine, methamphetamine, and MDMA. On cross-examination, Tenny Garagos asked the agent if he knew that Homeland Security and the Southern District of New York had been investigating Combs since November of 2023. He didn't say yes, but what he did say is he was told about executing this warrant and the details about it 11 days before it happened. She also noted some damage that was done to Combs' homes and asked the investigator, hey, did you take a picture of the damage after, or did you at least take a picture of the scene before? And she did that a number of times, I think, to show that maybe the investigation wasn't as thorough as it should have been when it comes to showing what a room looked like before they decided to search different boxes and whatnot. And then they talked about the guns that were found in Combs' home. And Garagos made a point to say that some of what we saw, or what the jurors saw, for instance, receivers from an AR-15 that were on a blanket, were actually wrapped up and taped up, but the investigators only took a picture of what it looks like after they unwrapped certain things and showed that as evidence.
Literally about to eat when it just hit me that I think Gina is witness number 3. Remember how right before trial started, we had heard that the prosecutors could not get a hold of the attorney for witness number 3, and that means that person may not be testifying? Well, right as trial ended today, Diddy's attorney said that Gina is out of the case. She's not coming. And then the prosecutor said she's in the indictment, to which Diddy's attorney responded saying they could get her here and they're choosing not to. She is witness number 3 and they couldn't get a hold of her attorney to get her to come, then clearly it's not about them choosing not to. But again, we're not sure if she is witness number 3, but if you don't know her story, she and Diddy were on and off again from 2014 to 2019. She did an interview in 2020 where she had alleged that Diddy was physically, verbally, and emotionally abusive. She alleged that he stomped on her stomach, punched her in the head, and that he would constantly belittle her and compare her to Cassie. And she also claimed that Diddy called her derogatory names daily and pressured her into having an abortion. When talking about the time that he stomped on her stomach, she said, he stomped on my stomach like really hard, like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe, but he kept hitting me. I was like pleading to him, can you just stop? I can't breathe. She had described Diddy's betrayal, especially after her abortion, saying that he was pursuing and entertaining other women like nothing was taken from her. In her interview, she said, he always told me that it was just only us two, but I always catch him texting other girls and stuff. After my abortion, it was this girl named Jordan, then Jocelyn and Kat, and then recently Lori Harvey. She would obviously be a very important witness to this case, but it sounds like we're not going to hear from her. If that changes, I will let you guys know.
I mean, offering somebody $50,000 to abort a baby, whew,
He must really want it gone bad.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, he was, like the first 4 months, he was really nice. But then after that, he started being an asshole. So like I say, like the first 3.5 years, he was like mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me. It got really crazy that time. We was upstairs and he had like, we were in his closet and he like pushed me and I fell to the ground and then he like stood over me. So I was like laying on my back and he stood over me and he started like punching me like this. Like he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head and I was just like covering my face. And he did that and then after he got done doing that, he like, cause he was standing, his legs were like in between me. So he stomped on my stomach like really hard and I like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe and he kept hitting me and I was like pleading to him like, can you stop? I can't breathe. And he like stopped for a little bit. He like grabbed my hair from the back and like was like punching the back of my head.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax because I said what I said.